Hey guys, as promised, I'm going to do a brief video on soil testing. So in my case, I'm up in Canada. I went over to Canadian Tire, any garden center, Home Depot, Lowe's, store like that will carry a simple do-it-yourself at-home soil test. So the one I've got is called Hold All, and in this kit, you have enough to do 40 tests, which is a little misleading because each complete soil test for pH and your NPK is going to be 4 tests. So in actual essence, you get 10 soil tests out of this kit. So it's pretty straightforward. What you're going to want to do is you have corresponding color codes. So we want to go nitrogen, phosphorus, potash. We're going to open up our little pouch here. A little bit fiddly, but it'll really help you get better results with your garden. So we don't need the green because the green we've already done. It's a pH test. So we're going to start off with nitrogen. It's pretty straightforward. You open up your little capsule. This can be a little fiddly. Sometimes they stick, and what I do then is I just cut the end off gently with a razor blade. You want to try and get all that powder in the tube. Be careful. Like I said, it's a little bit fiddly. That's it. So the day before you do your test, you'll need to get a jar. In my case, read the instructions in your kit. They tell you to mix 1 part soil with 5 parts water. You can just use regular tap water for this. It shouldn't skew your results much unless you have hard water. In that case, you'll definitely want to use distilled. So I have pretty soft water here in the city of Ottawa. I just use tap water for my test. And they give you this handy little dropper. I'll give you a word of advice. If you're going to use a jar that you can fit your hand in, or use enough material that you'll be able to extract it with that dropper. I had to get creative in my case, so it's a little far down. I realized afterwards I couldn't get it out. So you want to draw a small amount off the top. Your cleanest, clearest water, which is going to be the easiest to read, will be on top. Now, you put your capsule in, like I said, and you're going to fill that tube, in my case, to the 4th line, which is right about there. You'll put your capsule on. You'll put your cap on after adding your capsule. And you want to give that a good shake. I find it tends to stick in the bottom. So you want to make sure you have it well dispersed. Yeah, I already know from doing a test last night on a different area of my garden, I have low nitrogen, so I don't expect too much color to develop in that one. We'll move on to the next. The next will be blue. In my case, that's phosphorus that we're testing for. So we'll take our capsule, same as before, gently separate it. I find twisting and pulling gently helps. It can be finicky. I spilled my first one. In this case, it's kind of stuck in there. Doesn't matter if you spill a tiny bit, but you want to try and get as much as possible into the tube. I spilled a good amount here, so I'll just try and get that in there. Same as before. Take your water sample. Now, I don't know if I mentioned, but you're going to do 1 part soil to 5 parts water. You want to use something with a lid because you're going to shake the crap out of it for a few minutes. Then you're going to set it down and let it settle so everything settles to the bottom. That'll give you a much clearer water. Your nutrients will still be suspended, and you'll have a much easier time reading the results for your test when it's cloudy, it can be a little hard to read. So, same deal. Give her a good shake. I find whatever chemical they've used to test for the phosphorus is a little harder to dissolve than the other ones. And it also takes longer to develop. I thought I had low phosphorus. You got to let that develop for at least 10 minutes. I find it's better to give it more like 20 minutes or a half an hour. So, final test. This is going to be our potash test. Now, I find this one's pretty reactive. You'll start to see it change color relatively quickly. Here we have a sticky capsule. That could be the tricky part. There we go. The rest of your capsule in there. Carefully. Try not to drop it down in there because then you'll have a heck of a time getting it out without wasting the contents. Once again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to gently fill that tube up to the 4th line. And we're going to cap it and give it a good shake. Whatever process they're using to get the coloration for this test result happens fast. You can see it's already turning a dark orange, which tells me right off the get-go I have lots of potash. Now the other ones take a little while to develop. So we'll set those there. Those are our tests. Once they develop, we're going to compare them to this chart here, and we'll get a rough idea of which direction we need to go with our garden. I'm guessing mine's going to come out low in nitrogen, medium high in phosphorus and potash, and I've already done my pH test. So the 3rd one or the 4th one you'll want to do, and there's a different method. You actually, in my case, you have to add to the 1st line of the tube, which is down here, then you add your powder, then you add your water. But in the case of the pH test, you want to use distilled water because it's neutral. It has a pH of 7. If you just use your tap water and it's high or low of neutral, you're going to have skewed results. So for the pH portion, you will need a little bit of distilled water or water that's at a pH of 7. You can make that by using pH up and down. I would recommend getting distilled water. So we'll sit here, let this develop. I'm going to go pet my puppy dog, and I'll be right back with you to review the results of our testing. For those of you who are regulars on my channel, eventually you'll get to know Gizmo. That's my puppy dog. She's the best puppy dog ever. She's so sweet. You're sweet, aren't you, Gizmo? Aren't you a nice girl? Yeah, that's my best friend. Say hi, Gizzy. Hello. Okay. She wants to go do puppy dog stuff because, well, to be honest, puppy dogs aren't all that interested in soil testing. Hey guys, so we waited for the test results to develop. It's been about 20 minutes. The reason why I'm outside now is because the test results are best viewed with backlighting of sunshine. Not direct sunshine, just backlit by sunshine. So here we are. You can see the green. That's our pH test. Mine settled out a little because I used it yesterday, but what it indicated was I have neutral to alkaline soil. So I want to acidify my garden soil slightly, give it the proper pH and keep those plants healthy so it can suck up the rest of these nutrients here that we're measuring. So the second one, the orange, is potash. You can clearly see we've got medium to high levels of potash in our soil, so that's good. Next one, phosphorus, is blue. I'd say we got medium to low levels of phosphorus. The wind is going to blow my test away here. It's pretty windy up in Ottawa. We got a storm coming. Welcome to Canada. And the final one is our nitrogen. That would be the purple scale here. There's almost no nitrogen, as you can see, in my soil. So this test gives us a good idea of a good starting place when we're amending our soil. I'm going to have to acidify, and I'm going to have to add nitrogen. I'll be putting about a yard of mushroom compost into my garden this spring. That should solve my problem. I might need to acidify a little bit more, but I highly recommend go to your local garden center, somewhere where they sell the stuff in bulk, and get yourself a bunch of high-grade compost, mushroom compost, something along those lines. Don't buy the stuff in the bags at the Walmart. It's no good. Thank you.